welcome to the ARCS. We're live here from Darlington, South Carolina for the running of the Burger King 60. Today starts our 4-race journey to take 16 drivers and turn them into 4 contenders for this year's inaugural ARCS Championship race in Daytona. As you'll look through the starting order of today's race, you'll notice that drivers have a P for their first initial. That signifies that they are indeed playoff drivers, except for Paris Riley, of course, who has a P as her first initial. And we'll take a look at your top 10 qualifiers here in today's race. Starting in the pole, Tyler Seville. In second, Jacob Bradley. In third, Brandy Harper. In fourth, Denzel Scott. In fifth, Noah Hobson. In sixth, Roland Heidfeld. In seventh, Matthew Bussey Jr. In eighth, Keith Vega. In ninth, Carter Hayden, and rounding out your top 10, Deacon Gentleman. Let's take a look at the rest of the contenders here in today's race and get right on into the action. And we're live here at Darlington Speedway for the first race of the playoffs. Are you excited? Because I'm excited, and we're about to get the ARCS inaugural playoffs underway here at Darlington. And thanks to Burger King, we're going to get things going here in the Deep South. And Tyler Seville, our playoff driver, is going to get things underway here at Darlington. Got Jacob Bradley to that outside, another playoff driver, our winner at Daytona, to lock himself into the ARCS playoffs. Got Brandy Harper on the bottom there. This will be a interesting first couple laps here. Drivers were having trouble at that outside line in qualifying and practice, so we'll see how it plays into today's races. Tyler Seville with a healthy margin ahead of Brandy Harper going into turn 3 and 4 for the first time, and we'll see how they handle 3 and 4 here. So, a little bit of contact. Roland Heidfeld, a playoff driver, got into the wall, but so far so bueno here in the Burger King 60, 2:46 complete. Noah Hobson, our regular season champion, with a third place run so far as Matthew Bussey Jr., another playoff driver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 are all playoff contenders here. Theophilus Morgendorfer, our lone playoff breaker up at the front, separating the other drivers that are in the playoffs here. 3 of 46 complete. A couple different grooves being run here early in this race as, Noah Hobson getting really close to the back of Brandy Harper. And Brandy Harper's going to make a move for the race lead here. Turn 3 and 4. Tyler Seville way up the track. He might get in the wall here in 3 and 4. As I said, drivers were having trouble with that. And I believe he nearly touched the wall. I saw the car jitter just a little bit. We'll see how these drivers... the top 5 cars under a blanket here is Noah Hobson, our regular season champion, is going to look for the lead here. And Brandy Harper's in the wall, and Jacob Bradley back there in 7th or 8th places in the wall as well, and Matthew Bussey Jr. will scoot around Brandy Harper for 2nd place as our regular season, as I was saying earlier, regular season champion and winner. Tyler Seville and Denzel Scott in the wall back there, but as I'm going to say here, our regular season champion is currently leading this race, so he's got that extra 15 bonus points in his pocket plus his win bonus points, so that's good for him. Carter Hayden in the wall back there. Going to lose some precious spots here. Brandy Harper going to go around. 5 of 46 complete. A lot of action early in this race. A lot of drivers in the wall, as I said and pointed out earlier. We knew that was going to be a tough task here at the track. Too tough to tame in Darlington, South Carolina. And Bussey Jr. and Noah Hobson up at the front here. Bussey Jr. was a driver who locked himself in on points. So you've got a regular season champion and a guy who's scraped his way through in on points, and looks like the driver who was making it on points is going to get the lead here, and Theophilus Morgendorfer is going to go for 2nd. Noah Hobson almost in the wall. I feel like I'm going to repeat that phrase multiple times here today as that wall just slowly creeps up on you and will take you out if you're not careful. Noah Hobson falling back after he was leading earlier, and did not get in the wall there. I thought he was going to absolutely cream the wall, but Tristan Fish, another playoff contender, going to look to the inside of him. And Theophilus Morgendorfer, our non-winner this season, and I believe he was fairly low in the points, but he's going to look for the lead here. A non-playoff driver looking to lead here early in this race. That would be a major statement for the non-playoff drivers who didn't make it into the playoffs this season. And Bussey Jr.'s in the wall, just a tad coming off of the turn 2, and he almost got into the wall again on the backstretch, I believe. And whoa, we'll see how this shakes out here. This Bussy, I might get in the wall just a little bit. Oh, and he's going to hold on there. I thought he was going to make a charge for the lead, but Morgendorfer will lead the lap. And looks like Denzel Scott. Whoa! Oh, and we got contact between Tristan Fish and Matthew Bussy Jr. as he's lost whole boatloads of time to the top drivers, and Tristan Fish is in the wall there. And don't look now, folks, but your top 2 drivers are not in the playoffs. Theophilus Morgendorfer and Denzel Scott. Denzel Scott with a much-needed good run. He's obviously not in the playoffs, but for Denzel Scott and his team, a win would still be good this season, so don't count him out. And for all you guys in the watching this video, if your driver did not make the playoffs, do not tune out of the series because you could still get a win by the end of the season. So make sure to stay tuned and watch all the videos here because the playoffs are where the intensity ramps up. And speaking of intensity, Deacon Gentleman riding out a quiet race here in, I believe, 6th place, so almost a top 5 for Deacon Gentleman. Driver that won at Road America, and we got a pass for 3rd place as Tristan Fish on the outside, Matthew Bussy Jr. They made contact earlier, and speaking of contact, Tristan Fish is in the wall, and Bussy Jr. is going to get the spot. But if we look back here, our guest announcer from last race, Draven Sandy, a non-playoff driver, is in 6th place. So congratulations to Draven Sandy on getting back inside the race car for this event here at Darlington, South Carolina. I talked to him after our race at Talladega, and he was really hoping to get back in the car. But it was nice to see Richard Petty out on track. Whoa! Oh, and we might see a spin here as Matthew Bussy Jr. going to wreck a non-playoff driver. 2 drivers in the wall. Bussy Jr. and Theophilus Morgendorfer, and they are crashing heavily into the wall. And oh, was there Oh, and we've got... Is this for the lead right here? No, Denzel Scott's our leader. Denzel Scott passed, I believe, Tristan Fish and Bussy Jr. as they got into each other in turns 3 and 4. Oh, and Brandy Harper's in the wall back there, but again, that's going to be a phrase I'm saying a lot this race. But Denzel Scott is in the lead, a non-playoff driver, and another non-playoff driver, Draven Sandy, is looking for 2nd place. And I don't think we have a... No, we don't have a caution. I thought there was a caution. But there is not a caution. But, ooh, Draven Sandy going to get underneath a playoff driver. Impressive for that 56 machine. Deacon Gentleman's going to get into the wall slightly there. Denzel Scott, though, impressive run for that 11 car, Joe Gibbs Racing. And the caution's out here at Darlington, South Carolina. Richard Petty back in that pace car. Oh, and we got somebody spinning. Dre Heron, a non-playoff driver, had a rough time this season, but the season gets rougher for Dre Heron, and we'll show you the replay in just a moment as we come back to the start-finish line here. And we're back with a look at the replay here. It looks like it involves Keith Vega, that 36, Dre Heron, and Mark Ware, as Dre Heron almost goes airborne and does a little bit of a pirouette/barrel roll, but he does not go for a ride. And Dre Heron with a little bit of damage on that right side, but everybody comes out unscathed, and no playoff drivers were involved, so we'll get back to the action in just a moment. And we're back after a early wreck here at Darlington Speedway for the Burger King 60. And speaking of Burger King, our Burger King fastest lap of the day is Draven Sandy after coming back from a practice crash at Talladega. Spent some time with us in the booth last weekend. And Draven Sandy with the fastest lap, and a playoff driver of Deacon Gentleman with the 2nd fastest lap. And we'll get right on into the action here as Denzel Scott with a great restart. 19 of 46 complete as they cross the stripe. Draven Sandy with the fastest lap, but not the fastest restart here. We'll see if they can catch Denzel Scott, but he's had a lights-out machine early in this race, so... Ooh, 2 wide back there, Ricky Quinn and Carter Hayden, playoff driver on the outside, non-playoff driver on the inside. And if you look here, 2 playoff drivers in 3rd and 4th, but the non-playoff drivers are holding serve in 1st and 2nd. And the fastest cars have run away here. Top 4 drivers under a blanket, but they've run... Oh! Draven Sandy might go in the wall here. Oh, and he goes into the wall hard. Kind of like he did at Talladega, but not as hard there. That was a soft hit for Draven Sandy, but that might have hurt his injury just a little bit from last week, but we'll see if he can recover. It's Pedro Perez, a really quiet... Oh, and Draven Sandy, you can see in the last frame there, was in the wall a little bit again, but Pedro Perez... quietly stalking his way through the top 10. He started, I believe, toward like 11th place, but oh, Deacon Gentleman, our playoff contender in the wall. That'll give the spot to Pedro Perez, who has clawed his way up inside the top 10 and now to second place and has set his eyes on Denzel Scott. But Denzel Scott's luck this season has been very bad, and his point standings his place in the point standings was very bad as he got last in this season's ARCS points for the regular season, but there's still hope for the postseason. Obviously not in the postseason, but he has a chance to get some points and improve his standing in the standings. So 22 of 46 complete here at the Burger King 60, and Pedro Perez has closed that gap significantly to the leader of Denzel Scott. And our fastest lap is still Draven Sandy with a 26.8, but Draven Sandy's going to need to string some fast laps together to get back to the top 2 cars, as I believe Draven Sandy has fallen outside of the top 10. Oh my God, he has fallen from grace, and there's a pass for the lead here. Pedro Perez on the inside, playoff driver, outside, non-playoff driver. We'll see how this works itself out. It's Denzel Scott not in the wall, and he's fighting back on that outside line. Ricky Quinn and Jerry Funk really gaining a lot of time and paid. Oh, that 11 car was smart and did not use that outside line and just gave up those spots. Very good move by Denzel Scott. Did not want to get in the wall. And speaking of getting in the wall, I think Pedro Perez might here with Ricky Quinn to the inside. Ooh, we'll see if one of the drivers makes contact with the wall. Oh, and Pedro Perez is in the wall, playoff driver. Jerry Funk is now going to be the top playoff driver in the field in second place. But whoa, Denzel Scott nearly gets hooked by Pedro Perez, and Denzel Scott with a veteran move to not get in the wall. Oh, and Denzel Scott, his luck almost ran out there as Ricky Quinn gets in the wall and almost collected Denzel Scott. But Maxwell Smart, another driver for Joe Gibbs Racing that's clawed his way up inside the top 5. Going to set his sights on the lead soon. Joe Gibbs Racing with a strong run here. Second place and 5th place here in the race so far as 26 of 46 complete. 20 laps to go here in the Burger King 60. And we got a pass for the lead. Jerry Funk, playoff driver, might get in the wall here. Oh, just a little bit. Kissed the wall barely. Darlington stripe. As Maxwell Smart going to look to the inside of Pedro Perez. The non-playoff drivers are showing in force here today at Darlington, proving that you don't need to be in the playoffs to be good here in the ARCS. Just got to have a good car underneath you. And Denzel Scott still in the lead with a very smart move to just let the leaders go by on that inside line and not get in the wall like Pedro Perez just did there. Pedro Perez trying to get every point here because he is a playoff driver. But Denzel Scott, the non-playoff man, in the top position here at Darlington. 28 of 46 complete as they cross the line there. And Denzel Scott sliding up the track a little bit. Might get in the wall here. Ooh, Jerry Funk and Denzel. Oh, Denzel Scott hits the wall hard. And that's going to allow his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate to get right to his back bumper. 11 with a Darlington stripe on that right-hand side of the car. That does not look good. And we'll see if Maxwell Smart's going to look to the inside of his teammate there for second place. As Jerry Funk, our North Wilkesboro winner. Whoa, and Denzel Scott's losing a bunch of spots here in turn 2 of this track. And Jarrett Trudell, a guy we have not talked about at all today. Jarrett Trudell inside the top 5, or now top 4, I should say. Noah Hobson, a driver we talked about earlier in this race, along with Tyler Seville, gaining spots back late. They might have the long run car, as we're going to get 30 of 46 complete as they cross the line. 16 to go here in South Carolina. It's Tyler Seville and Noah Hobson, both playoff drivers, working to get them points. But Noah Hobson with that advantage. Well, not an advantage there as he gets in the wall. But Jerry Funk is our leader, a playoff driver. Positions 1 and 3 are playoff drivers, but position number 2 is a non-playoff man, Maxwell Smart. Ooh, as we got Cassidy Reynolds, 3 non-playoff drivers in a little bit of a bunch right here. It's Jacob Bradley, a playoff driver who's going to need some points here, as he's got a Darlington stripe on the right-hand side of that Chevy Monte Carlo SS, and we got Dmitry Yanukovych in the wall back there. But 3 cars pretty close up at the front here as we got Jerry Funk, as we've said before, and Maxwell Smart, Pedro Perez, Jared Trudell. A quiet day. A McDonald's car in a Burger King race. We'll see how that works itself out here. Burger King would not be happy if a McDonald's driver won here today, and the caution is out. 32 of 46 complete, and we'll find out who the culprit is for this caution. We'll get the replay in just a moment. And we've got a replay of the accident at Darlington, and Diego Tacona, playoff driver, gets involved with a non-playoff driver, Jordan Walker, and Diego Tacona goes for a long spin down the front stretch, but ultimately comes to a screeching halt, and that is not good for a two-time winner in the series early in this playoff run.
Okay, I was just getting worried that it was going to...
And we're back here at Darlington for the Burger King 60. Pace car is going to dive off. As we cross the stripe, we're going to get 10 to go, and Jerry Funk's going to lead us to that 10-lap dash, and our fastest lap is still Draven Sandy. The Burger King fastest lap is still Draven Sandy, and see Richard Petty back in the pace car rolling down pit road, and we're going to roll to a start here at Darlington. As the leader got a really good jump like the last restart, as Jerry Funk's going to have a comfortable one-car length lead here into turn 1 and 2. As Maxwell Smart, a driver who's had bad luck this season. Joe Gibbs Racing as a whole has just had really bad luck this season. As Jared Trudell in the McDonald's car is going to make a pass in the Burger King race. Clashes of the fast food sponsors. Oh, and Pedro Perez is in the wall, but we're going to focus on the top two drivers here as Maxwell Smart and Jerry Funk are 1-2 here, and Jerry Funk's gonna go in the wall. Oh, and Jerry Funk, a hard hit. Jared Trudell and Jerry Funk both hit the wall hard there, and Denzel Scott. Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2 here at Darlington, and Jerry Funk has got a massive Darlington stripe on the right-hand side to hit that machine. Maxwell Smart with a comfy lead, but will it hold for the remaining 8 laps here at Darlington? As Jerry Funk is determined to get back to Maxwell Smart, and whoa, a little contact there between Denzel Scott and the playoff driver of Tyler Seville. As Joe Gibbs Racing teammates side by side, but Denzel Scott is losing more positions, and Denzel Scott's bad year continues, unfortunately. But we've got Jerry Funk and Tyler Seville back up at the front here. Good run for Tyler Seville as he's clawed his way back to the front after an early smack into that retaining wall on the outside line. As Jerry Funk, is going to hit that wall again, and that's another big-time hit. And Cassidy Reynolds and Quinn Porter are just up at the front now. Miraculously, they qualified like 15th or 20th, and they've clawed their way back, and I believe we've got a caution. I might have just jumped the gun there, but I'll check the timing and scoring, and yep, there's a caution. So we'll get a replay of the caution and get a short restart here for the final laps of this playoff race. And we've got a replay of the accident at Darlington, and a playoff driver is taking a hard hit on track, but it's going to be another hard hit in the points for Deacon Gentleman as he slides through the front portion of this course, and Deacon Gentleman slides in points. And we're back here at Darlington. It's going to be a 3-lap dash here at the Burger King 60 with Maxwell Smart in the lead, non-playoff driver. In second, we got Tyler Seville, a playoff driver. In third and fourth and fifth, we've got Cassidy Reynolds, Quinn Porter, and Dave Wilson, all non-playoff drivers, and we're at the bottom of the grid for standings. And we've got the green flag here at Darlington for the 3-lap dash. A lot of pressure on the line for Maxwell Smart here. So he's going to get a couple laps to prove that he's a good driver in this series, as he did not make the playoffs in the inaugural season, but he has a chance to get a victory here. There's a lot of pride on the line here for these non-playoff drivers that are running up at the front. We're going to get 2 laps to go as they cross the stripe here. Maxwell Smart still in the lead, but Tyler Seville stalking him. As Cassidy Reynolds and Quinn Porter holding on strong for third and fourth, as there's only one playoff driver in the top 4 here. Oh, and Tyler Seville's in the wall. Cassidy Reynolds going to get around Tyler Seville, the playoff driver, for second. And the playoff driver's luck has run out here, as I believe it's going to be a non-playoff driver winning here today. If it's Cassidy Reynolds, It's going to be Maxwell Smart here, but we've still got the final lap here at Darlington to complete, as Maxwell Smart has a healthy margin over that second place car of Cassidy Reynolds, coming out of turn 2 for the final time here. Maxwell Smart, all he has to do is complete one more set of corners, and he's going to get his first career victory in the ARCS. Coming out of turn 3 and 4, Cassidy Reynolds closing, but it's not going to be enough, as Maxwell Smart, the non-playoff driver, is going to win here at Darlington for the Burger King 60. And our top playoff driver here in the race is Noah Hobson with that healthy cushion in the regular season championship. But congratulations to Maxwell Smart here at Darlington, and a non-playoff driver is going to win. And we're back here at Darlington Speedway, and we got the top 10 drivers, or top 10 finishers, I should say, in today's race, with Maxwell Smart getting the victory as a non-playoff driver in the first playoff race of the ARCS season. In second, Cassidy Reynolds, again a non-playoff driver, shocking us. Quid Porter in third, another non-playoff driver. In fourth, Dmitry Yanukovych. Did I say non-playoff driver? In fifth, Noah Hobson, of course, our regular season points champion. In sixth, Ringus McDingus with a good run. In seventh, Dave Wilson. In eighth, Theophilus Morgendorfer. In ninth, a playoff driver of Tyler Seville. And rounding out your top 10, Beth Sanders.